Let's join Spύρος Ριζόπουλος, who joins me now. Good evening to you, sir.
Nice to have you in Athens.
Prominent political analyst and Chief Executive of Spin Communications. How are you going to spin this result tonight?
Well, it's an easy result. It's a new result. We have a clear victory of New Democracy tonight. And I don't think that no longer the conversation is who's leading.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. No, clear victory
In terms of percentages.
In terms of percentages, not. At the moment.
Allow me to respond. When it's in Greece historically, when percentages have exceeded 10-15% and are as clear as this, it's a clear victory. At this point, it's within the margin. It's way beyond the margin of error. So at this point, the major discussion around, as you can see around TV talk shows in Greece at this point, is whether the possibility of putting together a government with all parties involved is possible at this point to run the country.
Okay. In your gut feeling, New Democracy gets whatever, 127, give or take, a vote either side, a seat either side. They go into coalition with PASOK.
They're going to. That's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough in what sense? You're going to have enough seats to form a government. You got a majority, but that's not going to be enough in order to be able to pass all the new austerity recommendations that need to in order to stay in the bailout program.
So who else joins in?
We have a feeling from the messages portrayed as they were portrayed on the campaign trail that maybe the Democratic left, the might join as well. That's going to make for a much stronger majority at that point, so it's going to make it much easier to be able to work in passing those necessary austerity measures.
While we continue to talk about this, I do need to remind our viewers that they are able to see the official results on the screen as they are coming in, and that gives a very wide view on how things stand. There are two fundamental questions. Now the result becomes a little bit clearer. The first is the nature of the coalition, but the role that Syriza plays as opposition.
That's a very good question, and I'll tell you why. Syriza came into both races from a single-digit percentage around 45%. It grew enormously within these last two races. This growth alone has not been able to portray exactly what Syriza stands or what it is actually about. Syriza is going to have to come up against its own self now in this new parliament.
And since Syriza was, if you like, a coalition of the willing or the unwilling, basically bedfellows brought together through necessity, does it manage to hold together in opposition, or does it fracture and disintegrate?
Two questions. I have to ask you two questions.
Go on.
Number one, first of all, if Syriza wants to stay in the game, it needs to move to the center. As it moves to the center, we don't know that. It's not going to have enough time to do so. We don't know that. The other thing is that how does Syriza hold it together when it has to be the main opposition party and your responsibilities are those of a party that has to govern and your people outside are protesting? Those things don't go together. So it's a tough call to make if Syriza is going to be able to do it.
Right.
These things have to happen simultaneously, but it's not a single dimension that's going to make the cut. You also have to see how the coalition government is going to operate. That's a major factor as well.
And we'll be talking about that in the hours ahead, because that is the big question. Many thanks for joining us, Spyrus.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you tonight here in Athens.